Mike, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I did not mean to be rude to your secretary, and I did not mean to be rude to Derek. It's just that my thoughts are all in a dither. Well, do you realize that my father left for Chicago this morning knowing full well that I was there myself? He did not leave me a message. He did not tell me where he was going or how I could get in touch. Oh, yes, obviously you know. You just spoke to him on the phone. Well, that's why I'm here. I would like to know what's going on.
Well, I'm sure you know that I can't discuss my professional dealings with your father.
Oh, Mike, if my father is in trouble, I want to know now.
I really can't tell you anything except to say that your father is staying at your house in Chicago, and if you'd like to call him, well,
What?
Certainly...
That is amazing. He is lying to me. I have called there again and again, and the housekeeper swears he's not there. This has been one of the worst days in my life. Starting with that phone call from the DA asking me to come back from Chicago to testify in that sordid little Andy Norris case, and then I get here and I need to speak to my father, and I can't find him. He's vanished into thin air, and then I bump into Ed outside the courthouse, and I tell him all kinds of half-truths that I know he doesn't believe.
I think you should have told him the truth to begin with. I know Ed well enough to know he never would have pried into any kind of details.
Oh, dear. Why does my life have to be so complicated? Oh, I'm sorry. I think I'll just go right back to the penthouse and call my father and demand that he fire that housekeeper and then make him tell me what's going on, why he's being so mysterious.
Can I give you a little unsolicited advice? Your father may have some pressures of his own to deal with. I'm not saying that's the case, but if it is, he would need your support and not any demands or accusations.
Let's just stick to our own turfs, shall we? I know my father. You know the law. Well, I suppose if I go back now, I'll have enough time to relax before Ed comes to pick me up. I'll tell him you said hello, and thank you for everything.
We'll continue with part 2 of The Guiding Light in a moment. The Guiding Light. This portion is presented by Mild Ivory Liquid, the dishwashing liquid with long-lasting suds, and by delicious mountain-grown Folgers, mountain-grown for rich flavor.
Well, that doesn't sound like much of a summer vacation, does it? Listen, Philip, if I don't see you before you leave for school, have a wonderful year.
Okay, don't forget to give him the message.
Oh, I will give him the message. Goodbye.
Bye.
Something tells me that you would like to see little Philip Spaulding take a long vacation off a short pier.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. It's just that Alan is talking about shrugging off his responsibilities here to lead an idyllic life with a woman who won't even see him or speak to him. And naturally, that upsets me. Alan is the driving force behind this company, and he cannot be replaced by Amanda and Philip.
Now, just relax. From what I've heard, Amanda is an emotional wreck, and Philip's got a few years to go before he's any kind of a threat to you.
There's nothing funny about it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just trying to lighten you up. I mean, you have been absolutely grim ever since I walked in here.
Well, I have a lot on my mind, all right? The Lewises are flying in from Oklahoma tomorrow for some very complicated negotiations here. And Alan is telling me that he won't be available because Hope is in the hospital. Doesn't make any sense. Hope is perfectly fine now. And Alan knows that Henry and Vanessa won't miss being at those meetings, not for anything in the world. He also knows that they have been opposed to that Lewis oil deal right from the very start. So that leaves little old me here to try to curb the two of them and to maneuver a transaction that at this point could make or break this company.
But just don't panic. I mean, you can do anything you set your mind to. Besides, you're not alone. There's Ross. He's on your side, isn't he?
Yeah, that's true. But he isn't even going to be here tomorrow.
Because I've got this crazy plan in mind. My only fear is that it may be a little too crazy. I don't want her to think I'm certifiable.
I promise I'll never tell.
All right, I talked to Alan, And I talked to Diana.
Touch those
Tell you
blossoms.
later.
They'll wither right up in your hand.
It's amazing.
I know.
Well, Carrie, did everything out there meet with your approval?
Of course it did, but you know I'm easy to please. I even like weeds. They may be homely, but they have integrity.
I cannot believe there's a weed left after all the work we did.
I agree with you. Thank you.
Juice.
Thank you. Where's Philip tonight?
Ah, Philip. Well, we got a very brief glimpse of him as he raced in here to call Alan, and then he shot back out the door over to the Perrys across the street. They invited him for dinner. They have a boy his age. And speaking of dinner, just tell me when you want to eat and give me a half an hour to put the chicken on.
Great.
Well, it's good to hear. I did promise Carrie an early evening because Alan's jet will be whisking her off to New York at the crack of dawn tomorrow.
My best time of day.
Well, an early night is fine with me. I promised Dr. Sedgwick I'd get at least 9 or 10.
Honey, what's wrong?
Oh, I can't be sure. I think I just got my first contraction. I guess I should start timing them, shouldn't
How
I?
about sitting down?
Oh, Lord, the first contraction. Justin, shouldn't she be lying down or something?
Carrie, would you keep him occupied? He's never been through anything like this. He's liable to pass out on us. Are you sure it's a contraction?
Yes, I mean, I think so. I can't be sure. I never went into natural labor with... I've never gone into labor before, so how could I know?
This may be quite an evening, but no dinner, though.
Rosemary, I couldn't care less about dinner. You couldn't drag me away from here. We could be watching the beginning of a brand new life. What could be more important than watching a real-life miracle?
You don't have any room for dessert, huh?
Well, you can make room. Why don't we hike up to the falls and watch the sunset? Maybe take a swim?
Okay.
And then we could come back for dessert, other things.
I hope that it's cool enough tonight to have a fire again.
Oh, I think it will be.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me just get some coffee at least, okay?
Well, all right, if you twist my arm.
All right. That sounds so strange. That's the first time that we've had any connection with the outside world since you've gotten here.
I don't even know how much I hated that sound until now. Oh.
Oh, don't answer it.
What? Why not?
Hey, this is going to be in bad news. I'm not on our honeymoon. Just let it ring.
Morgan, I can't. It might be an emergency. It might be your mom or Amanda.
You're right. Go ahead. I was stupid.
Hello?
Kelly, it's Dr. Marler.
Oh, hi, Justin.
Listen, I hate like hell to call you up there while you're still on your honeymoon, but I believe Jackie's gone into labor, and I'm not going to be able to make it to work tomorrow.
Oh, don't say any more, Justin. I'll be in tomorrow. It's no problem.
Look, there's no point in coming in tonight. Just report for work in cardiology tomorrow morning.
Oh, great. That's fine. But listen, call me if you need anything before that.
I will, but I think the next call I make will probably be to tell my friends whether it's a boy or a girl. Again, I'm really sorry, Kelly.
No, don't be. Don't be. Give Jackie my love, and I hope everything goes smoothly.
Thanks, Kelly. Good night.
Good night. Justin wants me to come back tomorrow morning.
I can't believe it. I can't believe that you would allow a day to be cut off of our honeymoon. We only had 2 to begin with.
Oh, but listen, Morgan, you know, Jackie's going into labor, so I don't think Justin is going to be at work tomorrow, and so I have to go in. Oh, come on. Now, I owe Justin. You owe him, too. I mean, if it weren't for him and Ed, we wouldn't have had the time that we had together. I have to be there to help out. You understand that? Ah, come on. I want to see the smile of a doctor's wife. You know, who knows that every night might bring another emergency call?
I'm sorry if I acted like a spoiled brat. Okay?
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, well, I'm just right now trying to follow the little advice that my mom gave me before the wedding.
Yeah, what was that?
Well, she said that if I always thought of your feelings as well as my own, that we'd have no problem with our marriage, because we would always be as happy and as in love as we are right now.
Remind me to thank your mom, okay?
Well, wait just a minute. You know, I mean, she might have given the advice, but I'm the one who put it into practice.
Well, remind me to thank you, too.
Thank me now.
Mm. You know,
What?
since this is our last night, I don't think we should waste a second of it.
Okay. But I really like that idea about going up and watching the sunset,
Yeah?
and having them, moonlight swim and everything. And we could bring up the robes so we don't have to come back down and get them.
Oh, I didn't pack a robe.
It's okay, I brought the ones that Eve gave us, the matching ones.
Lucky me. Married girl who thinks of everything.
Yeah, I was thinking of something else, too. When we come back here, I want to make love in front of the fire like we did last night. Don't laugh at me.
Oh, no, I'm not. I don't know what I was thinking.
What?
I was thinking that we could make love by the falls, or we go swimming, and then come back by the fire, get warm again.
Daddy, I cannot believe that my own father would have one of the servants lie to me. I want Mary Ellen dismissed in the morning.
Darling, I cannot do that. I told her to say that I wasn't in. She was simply doing as I asked.
Well, I've already told her that she's leaving. All you have to do is see her to the door.
Vanessa, I have never spoken to you like this in my life, and probably I should have started sooner, but I have too much on my mind to put up with one of your spoiled tantrums.
Daddy, I think that you really should tell me what's bothering you now.
It's nothing you don't know about. It's just that our position at Spaulding Enterprises gets weaker and weaker, and Diane's gets stronger and stronger now that she has Ross on her side as well as Alan.
Daddy, I'm not worried about that. Once Joe comes up with something on Diane, we'll be perfectly safe, and I know he will. Besides, I know that's not the real reason for your bizarre behavior. I can tell from your tone of voice. It's the same tone of voice that I used this afternoon in the courtroom when I was telling a bold-faced lie.
Oh, now, Vanessa, that's ridiculous. Look, darling, why don't we just stop all this, forget about me, and just get ready for your evening with Ed?
Daddy, I'm all ready. All I have to do is change into a dress, which I can do almost as easily as you can change a subject. Now, I haven't wanted to talk about this, but I'm going to. I don't know how much of your bizarre behavior is due to your sudden and to me totally unfathomable friendship with Mrs. Thorpe, but I've tried, Daddy. I really, truly have tried, and I just want to say that if that woman has been filling your head with lies about how spoiled I am and how you ought to forge your own life, then I think it's really time...
Barbara has never said one word against you. And I certainly don't need anyone to point out to me that you're spoiled. I know that. And, by the way, what is wrong with my having a life of my own? You certainly never let anyone stand in the way of yours. Darling, if we continue this conversation, we're both going to regret it. So I'm just going to say goodbye, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Daddy,
goodbye.
Oh. Oh, Daddy, how could you say those things to me?